we're going to keep at it. We're just going to keep going because we know we have something here. And now to see the popularity of Caitlin, to see the Fever exploding in popularity, not just here in Indianapolis, Indiana, but globally. It's remarkable. And again, it's like I have 2 young daughters. I can't tell you how excited I am about women's basketball and what we're seeing now in men's basketball here. What Olympics in 28 will be in LA.
Adam Silver just sent absolute shockwaves through the entire WNBA by delivering a crystal clear message about Caitlin Clark, a message that her legion of trolls and critics absolutely did not want to hear. The NBA commissioner himself went on the record, publicly praising her global star power and her undeniable influence, essentially confirming what dedicated fans have known from the very beginning, all while the league itself seemed to be pretending not to notice. You have to understand, Silver's comments are now forcing both the WNBA establishment and its most bitter critics to confront a stark reality they have spent months trying to deny or downplay. Because when the commissioner of the NBA decides to speak on a matter like this, people don't just listen, they take notes. And what he said about Caitlin Clark just served as a massive validation for everything her supporters have been passionately arguing for all this time.
Give them moments is phenomenal. Now, I'm going to stop there because I don't mean to embarrass you. I just have watched this for many, many years, and I've seen the enthusiasm for this game that you, Herb, and the ownership have brought. And it's just one of those things you sit sometimes and say, wow.
Well, I'll just say lastly, and now with the WNBA going into its 30th season, we were all here at the early days watching her grow. And I remember sitting by David Stern's side the first day.
The sheer amount of energy around this whole situation really begs the question, will Adam Silver's powerful praise for Caitlin Clark finally force the WNBA to market her properly, or will they stubbornly continue to ignore their single biggest star? It all kicked off when Adam Silver appeared on the FanDuel Sports Network in Indiana and stated something that should have been painfully obvious to everyone in the WNBA for the past year. But apparently it needed to be said aloud by someone with his level of authority, someone completely outside the league's bubble, for it to be taken seriously. He spoke directly about Caitlin Clark's immense popularity and the Indiana Fever's exploding profile, emphasizing that this isn't just an Indianapolis thing or an Indiana thing, but a truly global phenomenon. The specific word he used was remarkable. Let that sink in. This is the commissioner of the NBA, a man who understands star power and global reach better than almost anyone in the world of sports, explicitly confirming that Caitlin Clark isn't just a great player, she's a cultural event that extends far beyond the traditional confines of women's basketball. The timing of Silver's comments is absolutely perfect, because it comes at a critical moment when certain WNBA fans and media members are still trying desperately to convince people that Caitlin's popularity is somehow overblown, or that other players deserve completely equal recognition. With just a few sentences, Adam Silver shut all of that noise down. When the head of the most successful basketball league on the planet says someone is globally popular and remarkable, that's no longer a debatable point. That is a fact, backed by someone whose entire career revolves around understanding precisely what drives fan engagement and revenue in the world of basketball. What makes Silver's praise particularly significant is that he has no obligation whatsoever to say any of this. He's not the WNBA commissioner, he doesn't work for the Indiana Fever, and he's not getting paid by any of Caitlin's sponsors. He's offering his perspective as an expert who watches basketball at every level and deeply understands the business side of sports. When he says Caitlin's reach is global, he's making an observation based on cold, hard data viewership numbers, merchandise sales, and all the critical metrics that truly matter in professional sports. The fact that Silver even felt the need to mention this suggests he's probably as frustrated as the fans are with how the WNBA has handled their biggest star. The NBA knows how to market superstars. They built a global empire by elevating players like Michael Jordan, LeBron James, and Steph Curry. They understand that you don't hide your best players or pretend that everyone is equally important when one person is so clearly driving the bus. For a savvy executive like Silver, watching the WNBA fumble the marketing of someone with Caitlin's universal appeal must be truly painful to witness. His comments about the Fever's popularity exploding globally are also incredibly important because they prove her impact isn't limited to casual fans. As an organization, the Fever are benefiting massively. Merchandise sales are through the roof, television ratings for their games are skyrocketing, and attendance, both at home and on the road, has hit record highs. International interest has gone vertical. That's not speculation, that's measurable impact that shows up on every financial report. This global aspect is something trolls consistently try to downplay, pretending her fame is just an American thing or a college carryover that will fade. But Silver explicitly said her fame is global, and he's right. Just look at the Golf Channel, which aired her appearance at a Pro-Am event, exposing her to an audience who might never watch basketball. That crossover appeal is incredibly rare, and the WNBA should be capitalizing on it. Caitlyn's recent number 6 global ranking of the highest-paid female athletes backs up everything Silver said. She earned $16 million, and here's the kicker. She's the only team sport athlete on the entire list. Tennis players dominate those rankings, but Caitlyn cracked the top 10 despite a restrictive salary cap. Her WNBA salary and bonus were just $119,000. Over $15 million came from endorsements. Brands are paying her more than 100 times what the league does because they recognize her value. Nike, Gatorade, State Farm, they're all investing because she delivers results. Silver's praise also serves as an indirect but sharp criticism of the WNBA's marketing. The league has been trying to promote Caitlyn without making other players feel overlooked, which means their biggest star isn't featured as she should be. Meanwhile, her sponsors plaster her face everywhere because they understand basic marketing. The trolls who spent all season trying to diminish her importance are now faced with Adam Silver's endorsement. Arguing with fans is one thing, arguing with the NBA commissioner's data-backed assessment is a new level of delusion, and it's entertaining how this exposes the insecurity of those who insisted other players are just as valuable. If that were true, Silver would have mentioned them. He specifically highlighted Caitlyn and the Fever. That's not an accident, it's a recognition of who is actually moving the needle. The comparison to the NBA makes the WNBA's approach look even worse. The NBA relentlessly marketed LeBron and Steph. They understand you ride your stars hard at their peak. The WNBA seems afraid to do that. The fact that Caitlyn maintained this popularity despite missing 13 games to injury last season is even more impressive. Most athletes see their profile decline. Hers grew from $11 million to $16 million while barely playing. That's unheard of, showing her value is tied to her brand, not just her on-court performance. Silver's comments put immense pressure on the WNBA to step up. They can't keep pretending that promoting Caitlyn aggressively would somehow hurt the league. The NBA commissioner just confirmed she's driving interest in a way that benefits everyone. They need to stop worrying about hurt feelings and start maximizing her value. The Nike signature shoe deal launching in 2026 will be another huge moment, proving his point about her exploding popularity. Her shoes will sell out and force the WNBA to acknowledge they have a once-in-a-generation star. And it deserves repeating, she is the only team sport athlete in the top 15 highest-paid female athletes globally. That's not luck, it's the market recognizing transcendent appeal. This also validates what Fever fans have been saying all along, and now the NBA commissioner is agreeing with them. The trolls have nowhere to hide. He didn't say multiple players, he said Caitlyn and the Fever. It's also worth asking why Silver spoke up now. He wants the WNBA to succeed, and he knows that depends on leveraging their biggest star. And this is just the beginning. She's 22 years old. Her profile will only expand for the next decade. The contrast between her sponsors and the WNBA's marketing is getting harder to ignore. Wilson released special edition basketballs with her name that sold out instantly. These companies aren't afraid to build strategies around her. Silver's comments are also a sign of respect across leagues, a recognition that her growing the game benefits all of basketball. The message to the trolls is clear. Stop trying to diminish what she's accomplished. Stop pretending she isn't the biggest star in the game by a massive margin. The NBA commissioner just confirmed it. It's not debatable anymore. It's reality. Adam Silver just gave Caitlyn Clark the ultimate cosign, and his words shut down every troll. When the NBA commissioner calls you globally remarkable, the argument is over. The WNBA needs to take notes and start marketing their biggest star the way she truly deserves. Smash that like button if you think Silver's praise was long overdue, and subscribe for more real talk about who actually runs women's basketball.